Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, finally another video actually, and this is the FIA Championships Manufacturer Series for 2019. It's round number 6 and we're here at Sainte Crioux B in reverse. This is actually a TT track, but I'm just showing you this little bit of footage from qualifying first of all, because look what happens behind. Everybody suddenly wants my slipstream. Now I don't mind Koke having it, believe it or not. This is the third and last slot and we've been in every slot. And we'd struggled a little bit, to be honest with you. We really had struggled. So we were hoping for something in this last slot just to get some decent points for Audi, because this is an Audi TT circuit. It's the best car here when tyre wear isn't taken into consideration. So here we go for a fast lap. Let's see what we can do here on this circuit as we accelerate across the line here. We head towards the first corner and we're going to brake just where that blue is there, brake, drop down to 4th gear, try and get the car turned in and accelerate out as fast as we can as we continue on up the hill. Now we're then going to jump to the right hand side here and try and keep it really tight, because that way the bump in the road should bring you around as much as you can. Here's that bump. As you can see, it chucks it right. Try and straighten this up as best as you can as we then go into the right-hander here. Try and keep this very tight. Try and hit that second apex. We hit it there lovely. Flat out through that corner. Use all the track as we come into the braking zone. So now it's just straight line braking. Try and get the car turned in and accelerate as early as you can. Avoiding that wheel spin a little bit, because if you get wheel spin, you're going to have a bit of an issue as we now have a really long acceleration period. If you're interested in the live stream, of course, please make sure you check out the description. The full live stream is there, and get my thoughts and feelings at the time. It's a really good race. You might want to watch it live. You might want to follow the chat, which happened live. You can see we're 1.5 tenths up on our best time at the moment, but that's still nowhere near the half a second we need to gain on Rick, who is currently in P1. As we accelerate through that corner we struggle a little bit in the TT, and we also struggle here as we come into this braking zone. I want to try and get it turned in as best as we can. You see the rear rotates a little bit there, allows us to accelerate quite early here, and we are about 3-4 tenths down on our actual PB best at the moment that we could do as we head now towards the end of this next sector. Where are we up? We're down on our time. It's not looking good for qualifying so far as we now come into this braking zone. This is a very tricky corner in the TT. Get it wrong slightly and you're just going to understeer to Narnia, or the barrier, whichever one comes first. As we continue on up the hill now, here the TT is so strong. 4th and 5th gear is where the TT is absolutely rapid versus any other car, and you can see that with all the other people behind falling away as we come towards this right-hander now. We've got 2.5 tenths up. We were half a tenth down. We're 2.5 up. That's 3 tenths, and we were a 10.5 up earlier. So that would have been the time we needed to get P1. Unfortunately, at the moment, we're not looking like we're going to get P1. But where are we going to come in this qualifying session? As we head towards the line, you're going to break around that dead tree there. Try and get it turned in. Try and use a little bit of that AstroTurf on the left-hand side. Accelerate as quick as you can out the corner. Head towards the line. What kind of time are we looking for here? We do want a mid-16 if we can. What's it going to be? A 17.2. So unfortunately, not a good qualifying session there. Rick gets pole. Williams in P2 then, the Mercedes. The F-Type P3 is Steve Gaming. P4 for Koke. P5 for, I did not see, but we'll find out now with the grid walk. We got Rick there in P1. Williams in P2. And we have Steve Gaming in P3. P4 for Koke in that BMW. Really good qualifying for Koke. B-Racer P5 in the NSX. P6 for ourselves in that TT. A lot of work to do here. Matty in P7. Followed by Aura in P8. Another Honda though. Manu Rodri P9. Toyota's always going to struggle here. With Devil Soul also in a Toyota in P10. P11 for the Hyundai of Stefanzi. P12 there for Recon Knight. P13 for Doc Brown, so some of the Fords further back here. P14 there for MX Steve in the Aston. P15 for Pachu there, RCF. Porsche way down there. Engia P16. A Volkswagen of Fortesk in P17. Sonic in P18. P19 for Momoz. And 19 cars are going to start the grid. And as you can see, we're on fuel map number 6. That's just to save a little bit of fuel. So you can already tell what this race is going to be. It is a fuel saving race. Fortunately, the TT is good at fuel saving. The only bad part about this race was the tyre wear. So we really needed to be ahead initially to have the best results. So the fact we're starting in P6, we're really going to struggle. And remember, this is the last time slot. All to play for here. No, we've got full risks. Otherwise, you're not going to get the reward. So straight away, I know I need to get past B-Racer as fast as humanly possible here. So I'm just going to charge up the hill now. And I'm going to go for the move straight away on the inside. The TT is the fastest car here on the opening laps. Round we go. We get that move done straight away. And through we go up into P5. One position up. We need to catch up to Koke and the 4 other drivers up ahead. just to make sure that we stay in that slipstream and we can get the moves done. As I say, in all my practice races, it was better for me to be in P1, escape, and then let 1 or 2 guys catch up and then have a battle at the end, rather than being P6. P6 is the worst place I could be. So we continue on. Now you see B Racer is actually just going to push me along here. Realizes the TT is very quick at the start of a race. It is in any race, to be honest. The TT very quick on the opening laps. One of the cars that you might want to let go and then just overtake it later, basically. But here the TT is very strong, irrespective, so it's a good one to follow. As you can see, we're already catching up to Steve Gaming. That gap dropping to 8 tenths, now 7.5 tenths. That's the slipstream. Once we're in that 7.5 tenths, we're in the slipstream, and that's where we want to be, because then we can make all our decisions on what we want to do. As we leave that corner now, we're in Steve's slipstream, and we continue on. If you haven't noticed, by the way, we've got a new microphone. Trying it out for the first time in this video. We'll see how it goes. But continue on across the bridge. You can see a few moves happening up ahead. As we then come in to the left-hander, Eddie's leading the way at the moment from Koke. So you can see how that Toyota really struggles in a straight line. Now, we have visited Sainte Crioux B in reverse in Group 4 cars in the past. And last time we were here, we overtook the Toyota with a 7/10 gap that it had versus us. But you can see Steve Gaming goes a little bit defensive here. So I'm going to go down the left-hand side. The one really strong positive of the Audi is it's extremely good on the brakes, especially versus any other car. I think the front splitter, the rear wing, and just the car being, you know, quite small in general, it allows it to brake very, very quickly. So you can see we've now made up 2 positions already in 1 lap, and we can see the leader. We're in the fray here in order to get some positions made as we continue towards the end of lap number 1. But what we are actually going to do, we're going to advance another lap, because what I do on this lap, I just try and hold it back a little bit and try and save the tyres. As we advance now to lap number 3, you can see we're very close to Rick. Nothing's really changed. Everybody's in order there. The only difference is Devil Soul and Matty behind have made some moves on B Racer. Devil Soul's actually really trying to push very hard through this field at this moment in time, while everybody else is trying to fuel save. And that Toyota, you do have to fuel save quite a bit. So you can see here, we're purple in in Sector 1, not P1. We want to be P1 though, as we continue towards left-hander once again. So I already made my decision at this point that I want to overtake Rick, because I need to get past this Toyota. It's going to hold me up. So you'll see me start to over-rev the car to get by. I'm going to go to the left-hand side. Rick's not going to fight it too much because Rick's trying to save fuel, and the Toyota's not that strong in a straight line. Toyota versus Audi in a straight line, the Audi is going to win every single time. You can see Steve Gaming also is trying to follow me here. So Steve has understood, and we did a practice race earlier actually, me and Steve Gaming, that the TT is a powerful car early on. Follow what the TT does and then take advantage later on in the race. So round we go this corner. We're going to head towards the bridge once again as we come into the braking zone. And it's all getting very close now. So in that P3 position, podium position at the moment. So we are looking pretty good. You can see on the TV camera lots of cars in the fight for this lead. Everyone having the same sort of opinion here with this fuel-saving race. Now, a lot of people do ask me sometimes, don't you prefer the other races, you know, with tyre wear because fuel trains suck? But I actually prefer this because if you want to race, you can race. And Devil Soul is literally the example of this. He started way down the order, so all Devil Soul's done is gone, hey, I'm just going to have a bit of fun here. I'm going to have a race. So Devil Soul's gone from, I think it's P10 to P5 at this point. And you're going to see actually on the radar here, more than a TV camera, Devil Soul's going to try and get a move done here on Steve Gaming. Steve goes defensive there and manages to keep the position. And, you know, that's the nice part of a fuel-saving race versus tyre wear. You can have a bit of a race if you want one. If it's tyre wear, you can't really have a race irrespective. Let's be real here. So we continue on towards the end of lap number 3, halfway through this race now. And Ed is still leading the way from Koke. We're in that P2 position, and we've got a lot of work to do as well. One thing we had figured out during this as well, which is a nice little tip, traction control actually causes more tyre wear. So we actually turned it off again, which actually did help us. We learned that in the practice races. We found that, yes, it may help initially, but in the long term, it seems to stop oversteer and cause more tyre wear on the fronts overall, which is a big, big problem. As we come up this hill once again, just trying to stay with Ed and Koke here. We can make our decisions later on, and we're trying to straight line that as much as possible and keep it tight here if we can. Still purple in that first sector. You can see we're pushing hard here. A 19.4 on that lap 2 is a very good lap time as we then come into the left-hander. And out we go. So again, you can see I start to over-rev the car. So this is a signal that I want to get past Koke and Ed. Now, the reason I want to do this is I want to try and break away. Now, one thing that I found in one of my practice races where Ed was concerned, Ed is Carl Williams, is that Carl Williams could not keep up with the TT on lap 4 and nearly on lap 5. So the reason why I went for it is because of that. But Steve Gaming also went for it. So Steve obviously realised I was going for that move, decided to also go for that move. So that was a really good strategy move by Steve Gaming there, not to let the TT break away. So we come into this corner, slight little tap on Steve there. That was a little bit of a mistake. 3 wide, not really working, and the TT is very good on the brakes. I have to chuck it in there, but Steve survives quite easily there. It's only a tiny little tap, and obviously with the bouncy physics, it's actually worked out very well as we continue on. Thank you to all the members that you are seeing on the left hand side, and also the ones that aren't there in that message at this time. It's much appreciated with all your support. But you can see now we have gained that lead. We're exactly where we want to be at this point. We would prefer to be about a second or 2 seconds ahead, but we are in the lead, so you know our strategy is working out well. Some people were questioning my decision, but the reason I tried to get ahead of Carl Williams is literally to try and break that gap, because I knew Carl Williams might struggle later on in the race. But I think in this situation it's actually helped that Carl Williams has been ahead, because it's actually saved his tyres a little bit. I don't fully know because I don't drive the Mercedes, but I believe that is what's happened. So we come towards the last corner to finish lap number 4. So we've got lap number 5 and lap number 6 to go. That's 2 laps by my books. Let's see what happens as we head towards the line. I think we should actually go to some TV footage. What do you think, guys? So 3, 2, 1. Boom! There we go. Finally, there we go. Bit out of sync with the timing there, but we got there in the end. Because look at the lovely graphics here that we see, and we see so many different types of cars on the screen. We have the Audi TT, the Jaguar, the BMW is in there, and we see the Mercedes a bit further back just on the screen, but it looks really, really good. You can see we're trying to break away here fast. That's why the gaps opened up a little bit with this group, a little bit of a gap there between Koke and Williams there as we come into the left-hander. So everybody's trying to keep up. The other thing as well, actually, is that if we actually burst out speed, it's going to cost them more fuel. Got to remember that. But that wasn't going through my head at the time. But obviously, my goal there was to just try and break away. Obviously, it's not worked out here. As you can see, Steve is now going for the move as we go back to my point of view. So what we're going to do here, stay to the inside. As long as we're on the inside here, we're going to defend this corner. Absolutely no problems. As we come into here, we're going to trail brake. You can see us just trying to get rid of that speed as much as we can. Obviously, we're going to start to suffer from understeer now. You can see the front tyres there. They've really taken a pounding now. Real bad tyre wear as we then come into this right-hander. And you can see here, we actually have good braking still, so we can still get on that corner and accelerate out. So we're still in the lead on lap number 5. It puts us in position here for this final lap. We're in with a good shout. You can see all the cars in this bridge right now on your screen are in with a chance of victory there. Back to B Racer. Rick's fallen off B Racer a little bit there. And I'm assuming that was Aura in the background as well. As we come into this left-hander, it's me, then Koke. So Koke's got past Steve Gaming there. Williams in P4 as we then come around this corner. And Koke is obviously just going to sit behind me until that finish straight, sorry, the back straight, which is very long, to then make the move. That's the most obvious place, which is why I wasn't going defensive here. You can see I stayed to the left-hand side. There's no need to go defensive. Anybody who goes for a move beforehand is just going to cause carnage, and it's going to affect their race as much as our race. Now, if you really dislike the person, maybe you would go for it, but I'm really good friends with Koke, so I knew that Koke wouldn't try and make any stupid moves, and I knew that if he wanted to go for it, he would wait for then that back straight, because it's the most obvious place to make the move in reality. And you can see that the Honda, there's this group of cars here, 6 cars, 7 cars even, 6 cars, I can't count. We'll work it out soon enough. But there's a group of cars here that is all on for the victory, basically. Every single one of these can have a victory here at this race. So you can see that's B Racer just making a move on Matty there, as we now go to my point of view to really finish this race off. As we then come into this right-hander, we're going to see us start to struggle. Look at that radar. You can see Koke really catches us up now, and that's just because our front tyres are really struggling. And this is why the TT is a very good car here, like one of the best, if not the best car here without tyre wear. The minute you apply tyre wear, unfortunately, TT just falls off the radar. It's a top 5 car, but it's not the #1 car. The #1 car we found was the Mercedes and the Lexus. They were very quick in the practice races. That was Sutsu and Storm. But fortunately not in this race, they were in previous races. As we continue on around this corner, and they both won, by the way. So you see Koke was sort of waiting for the move. He's now going to go for the move. So you're probably going, Tidge, why didn't you defend? I'm thinking that now as well, to be honest with you. But Koke gets the move done, and what we're going to do is going to try and tuck in here. We have to tuck in, because if we don't tuck in, we're offline, we lose a bit of grip, and Steve Gaming actually gets an advantage. So here we are now. We're defending from Steve Gaming. Koke is on the left-hand side. Now we've got really good brakes. So we come into here. Initially, I thought I'd outbroke myself, but then I seem to have caught it. Koke ran a bit wide there because he thought I'd gone for the absolute lunge and a half. Steve Gaming saw that, so we both moved to the right. And look at that TV camera now. There's 3, 4 cars, nearly 5 cars wide. But Ed decides to push me. What a legend Ed is. Ed gives me a little bit of bumper draft. There's 4 hours on your screen. We're going to be first into the corner, and that's absolutely fantastic because the TT is really strong at this point of the circuit. Going up this hill, it is really, really strong, although we do suffer from a little bit of understeer as we head up this hill one last time. You can see all sorts of carnage happening behind now. 3, 4 wide back there. B-Racer has made his positions up. He was at the back of this train, remember. He was behind Matty at the start of this lap. He was in P6. He's now up to P2, so B-Racer has been making some serious moves in that NSX as we continue on now. And I'm just worried a little bit about fuel because I have pushed a little bit hard here. So you can see that gap is half a second. So I just have to survive here. Just a load of short shifting. Make sure I survive. We've got 1% of fuel left. As we come around this last corner, we're going to head towards this line. And for one last time, I'm going to cross the line. And are we going to do it? 3 temps that gap down to 2.5 temps. Are we going to do it? 0 laps of fuel. We do indeed. And I tell you what, we were so happy on stream. As I say, if you haven't watched the live stream of that, I would really go and watch it. And you can see the gaps there from P1 to P7. 2.6 seconds. That is fantastic. And lots of different cars in there. So I suppose that's good racing there. I don't know how we came out with a 14.10 starting in P6. Absolutely brilliant time. We made the perfect moves at the right place. The only questionable one was when we didn't defend from Koke. But hey, it seemed to work out. Let's jump now to just that TV footage once again. I've got to do a big shout out to Koke and Carl Williams. He's called Ed, which is why I call him Ed. Because Koke was helping me out earlier on in the races. So what happened in the first time slot was that a couple of people disconnected, so the points weren't worthwhile. I said I needed them. Koke was like, okay, you know, I need max points here, so if I can't get max points, I'll help you out if I can. If not, we'll just race. And Carl Williams here, you can see he's going to push me along. I mean, big shout out to Ed for doing that as well, because he basically gave just enough of a distance then at the front of that pack. I was pulling away a little bit, so it had been slightly closer in terms of B-Racer and myself, but we managed to get away there, and that obviously gave us the victory in here. And then there was a bit of fighting in the background. A few people got caught on the curbs, but it was clean racing. How many times do you see 4 wide over that bridge and everybody survive at the end of it? You don't see it very often. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video, highlights of the manufacturer series. There'll be lots more videos coming back to the channel very soon. Obviously, we're just busy with FIA at the moment because it's the official season. Once that's done and dusted and we're back to exhibition seasons, there'll be more videos and a little less live streams because I know they take a little bit less effort. But as I say, thanks for watching, guys. It's been much appreciated with all your support, and stay tuned for many more videos and live streams and anything else to come on this YouTube channel. And woohoo! 10K subscribers!